Spookytoberfest! What up, players? It's Warboss Tay up in this mug, and today we're looking at... oh my gosh, I haven't even started with that Hive Tyrant yet. I got some time. Today's only, what, the 25th? 26th? I'm not sure. But this is the weekly roundup of participants in the Spookytoberfest competition. Well, it's not even a competition. It's a painting challenge. So if you don't know what it is, I shouldn't have to tell you, but if you're watching this video and you have no idea what Spookytoberfest is, it's basically we take the month of October, we find the spookiest model we can, and we try to paint it up. So these are people that joined in the middle of the challenge, or people who've been sending in their entries after the first weekly roundup that I did a couple of weeks ago. So let's take you through them, and I'm gonna of course attach the links below so you can check them out. Silver Skull Gamer is doing a Legion of the Damned Space Marines. So awesome, those old vintage Legion of the Damned models. Paul Pham is doing the awesome Forge World Morn Ghoul. Oh, it is such a cool figure. It just screams Spookytoberfest. It just looks amazing, and it's cutting up a poor little horsey. Oh, it's beautiful. Check it out. Tobias Mai is painting Raging Heroes Gluttony model. And yeah, Raging Heroes has some fantastic alternative sculpts that you can use as counts as Warhammer 40k models. I personally have I just purchased their sisters of, they're three Russian sisters that look like female commissars. Beautiful sculpts, so I'll be showing those off pretty soon. Check out his Gluttony model that he's painting up. Then Lord Legion 72 is doing some very evil-looking Chaos Space Marines, a little bit older ones, and they just look so fantastic with all these mutations and just all these little gribblies and stuff. Really good. Pooty Boy Studios is doing Morgoth the Necromancer from Mantic Games, which is another alternative range that you can go to if you don't feel like paying the prices for the Warhammer Fantasy, because the armies are so much bigger. Kings of War has, Mantic Games has some nice, little bit cheaper alternatives. They don't look the same, but you know, if your opponents are cool with it, you save yourself some cash, and then you can keep the love of the game alive. All Elves Are Dark is doing a Banshee and the Garden of Moor. It's the Cairn, not the Cairn Wraith, but that Banshee model that looks like my ex-girlfriend reaching out for me, like, oh, with her hair floating. I painted up a model for her a long time ago, and it's one of those sculpts that in the single figure clamshell packets that Games Workshop has started releasing that has just been, you know, all the rage. Despite it being there only being really one pose you can give them, just the fact that they're plastic and not fine cast, and the fact that they look so great is pretty good for me. Jarlsmersh is doing a bunch of awesome spooky models. He's starting with the Crix Death Jack. That's the one that he randomly rolled up first, and I'm glad he did, because that Death Jack looks fantastic, and he's inspired me to do one also, or pick one up at some point. Oh my gosh. Ian Jeffrey is doing the Rotten Bells from Malifaux, the new ones in plastic, and those are some other sculpts. Malifaux has just produced some really, I mean, Malifaux should be called Spookytober all year round, because their figures are just so evocative, well sculpted. The vision behind all of them, they all look different, and they all look unique, and they all look fantastic. That's the thing about Games Workshop. Everything's starting to look the same when you look at those big monsters now. Like, I was looking at the Hell Pit Abomination. It's got one arm up and one arm clutching a piece of scenery. And then you see things like the Hydra. He's got one arm rearing back and one hand on that rock thing. And it's like all the big monsters have like one arm up and one arm on some sort of rock thing. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's starting to look all the same. Anyways, Primed TNT is doing Skaven Clan Rats. Uber Q Funk. Mario is doing a fine cast Dark Apostle, but he's converted it, changed the backpack up a little bit, looks fantastic. Gamerheads1 is doing a Forge World White King BSB. Oh man, that model is so great, like the detail on top and just all the little gory bits. The White King itself is not as huge and chunky as the new single clamshell character pack, Games Workshop released for the White King character. But as a BSB, it looks awesome. It's tall. It's very just epic looking. It really catches the eye. Monster Moril is doing the new Dark Elf Hydra. Speaking of, and it's the Hydra, not the Charybdibis. So I can't wait to see it painted up because, you know, all you see is the Games Workshop versions, or all I've seen so far. I know some other people have painted them, but yeah, I can't wait to see how that turns out for him. 58 Kirk, the Sarge, is doing the Malifaux Dead Rider. And the Dead Rider is, wow, what a cool figure. It looks like Death on a horsey, and it's just fantastic. So check that out. And the Houndmaster 14. I don't know why Houndmaster 14 put this, I think, like right around the time that I filmed my other weekly roundup, so he didn't get into that one. So sorry I had to stick you in this one, buddy. But the Dreadstone Blight scenery is what he's going to be working on throughout October. Still got a couple days left to finish that up. Dreadstone Blight, fantastic piece of scenery. It's like a crumbling, ruined tower of sorcery. It looks really cool, and I bet with some weathering and with a very cool paint scheme, it will look just fantastic. So that's the weekly roundup for week number 3, taking us into the end of the Spookytoberfest month. I still have to paint my Tyranid Hive Tyrant. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I might have to do a last minute switcheroo and choose something that isn't as big, because the time that I have found to make videos and film stuff, I was kind of distracted by Empire stuff, if you haven't noticed. So I might choose something else at the last minute. The Hive Tyrant is very, it really required the whole month, and I didn't have the time or the motivation to do it. So I might change mine up. But thank you guys for contributing. If you know anybody that has joined the Spookytoberfest challenge and they were not in either this or the first roundup, please let me know so I can give them a shout out as well. I want to give all you guys shout outs so that we can continue building the community and getting to know each other's pages and getting to subscribe and follow and just grow the community as much as we can. You guys are all awesome. Thank you for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one. Laters, players!